On page 13 and 14 in my advanced jazz piano book, I have written some voicings for the chord sequence 251 in a minor key. The first example I've written is just the guide tones. That's a 251 into G minor. Because there are only two notes, there's no fifth. So although the chord says A minor 7 flat 5, that's that symbol with a circle with a slash through it, you wouldn't know there was a flat 5 because there is no fifth in this chord. So if I play that, it would sound like this. I'm going to cross my left hand over to play the roots, because these are voicings that a pianist would play in their left hand while soloing or playing a tune in their right hand. So it would sound like this. So it sounds pretty good, but you wouldn't really know it was the A minor 7 flat 5. So in fact, what I would put in is the fifth at the top, which is normally E, and now that's flattened. So you've got this shape. So that's A minor 7 flat 5, there is the 7th, that's the 3rd, and that's the flat 5. When I move to D7 flat 9, the note that's remained the same, or the two notes that have remained the same, are the top two notes. So the 3rd of A minor 7 now becomes the 7th of D7. The top note, which was the flat 5 of A minor 7 flat 5, now becomes the flat 9 of D7 flat 9. And the bottom note, which was the G of A, which was the 7th of A minor, moves down a semitone to the 3rd of D7. So you get this movement, and then we resolve it to G minor, and I've just added a D at the top, which is the 5th. I'll do the next key, which is a 251 into F minor. So this sequence moves down in tones. So from this particular chord, I flatten the 5th, so you get that G minor 7 flat 5 sequence. I lower the bottom note, but I keep the top two notes, and now we have C7 flat 9 resolving to F minor 7. I'm going to carry on with what's written on the music without playing the bass notes, but now you're used to the sound, you can imagine what it would sound like with a bass. That's 2-5 into E flat minor. 2-5 into D flat minor. And I'm going to take the whole voicing up in an octave because it was getting too low. So now I'm doing a 2-5-1 into B minor. C sharp minor 7 flat 5. F sharp 7 flat 9. That was a 2-5 into A minor. Now I'm going to play the other 6 keys that I didn't play in the initial sequence. So I was doing a sequence that went down in tones, therefore only covering 6 keys. So now I'm going to start with a 2-5-1 into A flat minor. On this particular example in my book, I've actually made it a chord with 4 notes. So if you wanted to practice this the same way as the other exercise, you would omit the 9th. So this is B flat minor with 3 notes. This is B flat minor 9 with 4 notes. And this is B flat minor 9 with 4 notes, flattening the 5th. And you get that sound. Just to be aware that it's not always the most suitable chord for a minor 2-5-1, because the flat 5 becomes the flat 9, and that's a very, very dissonant sound, and sometimes that can clash with the melody, and then we resolve it to A flat minor. I'll come back to that particular point when I've played through the sequence. So now it's a 2-5-1 into F sharp minor. So we start with G sharp half diminished, then C sharp 13 flat 9, and F sharp minor 9. Then carry that sequence on. 2/5 into E minor, getting very low now. And I'm going to take the bass out because it just clashes. 2/5 into D minor, two 5 into C minor, and again, like I did in the previous exercise, I'm now going to move up into a different range because it was getting very muddy and low there. So when I play the bass note with some of these chords, it sounds even muddier than if I had a bass player. That's because it's the same sound. So often you can play lower voicings with a bass because the two sounds don't clash, but there's a limit to how low you want to go. Just going to look at 2/5/1 into C minor and adding this ninth. So here's 2/5 to C minor. Now with the ninths. So if we're thinking we're in C minor and we're thinking of maybe some of the scales that go with C minor, many of the scales will have the third, which is flattened. So to play a voicing that has an E natural in it could clash potentially with a melody, and also there again could clash with that. Now we can change that to an altered type chord, and that sounds pretty cool. But the fact that even chord 2 has this natural 9 with the E natural means that it could clash. So you have to be very careful. So I often say leave it out unless you really know the sound you want. Leaving it out means there could be no clash. And that's page 13 of my advanced jazz piano book, and that's the end of that tutorial on that particular page.